Welcome back to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're plunging headfirst into the wild, really unpredictable saga of Dunkleosteus. This is a band that completely redefines how music gets made.
Absolutely. Forget your typical origin stories, the struggling artists in dusty garages. Their journey is, well, it's something else entirely.
Exactly. We're talking impromptu jams leading to this incredibly prolific output in record time, and a creative process just fueled by family spontaneity and this almost audacious embrace of the unconventional. So our mission in this deep dive is really to act as your expert guides. We've got a wealth of sources, articles, interviews, even some rare band notes.
Yeah, a lot to dig into.
And we're going to meticulously trace every twist and turn of their pretty remarkable history. We'll explore their unique path, dissect their lightning-fast creative methods, and really try to understand how they've managed to evolve at such a blistering pace. So get ready for a truly detailed, sometimes surprising, and always fascinating look at their full story.
And what's really compelling about Dunkleosteus, I think, is that they're not just a band in the traditional sense. They're almost like a living case study in modern musical creation.
How so?
Well, they just throw out the conventional playbook,
Yeah.
They defy those narratives of slow, painful climbs and these long, drawn-out recording sessions.
Right.
Their story offers some pretty profound insights into how creativity can, well, not just flourish, but actually explode when it's driven by pure passion,
Yeah.
this really strong family bond, and maybe a delightful disregard for established timelines.
A disregard for timelines. I like that.
Yeah. And as we navigate their history, we'll unpack how they've managed these geographical hurdles and maintained this almost unbelievable output, all while cementing a truly unique identity.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's peel back those layers. Let's start right at the genesis, the very beginning of this phenomenon.
Sounds good.
Our detailed research, it indicates that the very first spark for Dunkleosteus ignited back in the fall of 2023. And this wasn't, a Craigslist ad for band members or some carefully planned studio session. It started as simply as two cousins, Charlie Alomar, who's a multi-instrumentalist, but picked up guitar for this, and his cousin Joseph Ball on the drum set. They just decided they wanted to perform a few songs for a family birthday party.
Just like that, a birthday party gig.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
A high-stakes Pink Floyd tribute, basically born from a casual family celebration.
And what's really paramount here, right from that first impulse, is the immediate, profound impact of family. This wasn't just a charming detail. This family core would become like an indispensable strategic advantage for them.
Strategic advantage? How?
Well, think about the usual friction points in a new band, right? Scheduling conflicts, ego clashes, creative differences that can just derail everything.
Yeah, happens all the time.
But a family unit, they're bound by this inherent trust, shared history, maybe a more forgiving dynamic. They could bypass so many of those traditional hurdles.
Okay, I see. Less drama, more doing.
Pretty much. It allowed for almost instant decision-making and this kind of boundless, unfettered creative flow. It enabled the kind of accelerated pace we'll see again and again throughout their career.
So who else was involved initially?
Right, so Stanley Bucket, Charlie's brother, he stepped up for vocals. William Brick, another of Charlie's brothers, took on lighting and special effects, which is a crucial, often overlooked creative role,
Definitely adds to the vibe.
Hugely. And Joseph's brother, Jimmy Darkfield, became the sound technician. And their cousin, Jacob Birch, joined on keyboard.
Wow. Okay, so it really was a full family affair.
Exactly. And not just a band. It was a collaborative family enterprise from day one. It fostered this environment where ideas could be tried, failed, perfected, all at lightning speed.
It truly sounds like a homegrown operation. This impromptu gathering, it culminated in their debut performance, which they affectionately dubbed Live on the Loft. And what's astonishing is the band didn't even have a name yet. But every account we found describes this initial gig as a resounding, huge success.
Despite the lack of a name.
Right. And the setting itself, it adds this layer of legend. It was a birthday party, yes. But it deliberately coincided with the 50th anniversary of Pink Floyd's iconic Dark Side of the Moon.
Wow. Talk about pressure. That's a monumental benchmark. It sets an incredibly high bar for the musical atmosphere right out of the gate.
No kidding.
And if we connect this to their broader development, the choice of material for that first show is incredibly telling. It hints at their collective influences and that genre-bending future.
What was on the set list?
Well, the set list, according to our sources, it leaned heavily into those Pink Floyd classics, Speak to Me, Breathe, Great Gig in the Sky, and Pigs. 3 different ones.
Okay, ambitious choices.
Definitely. It shows that shared reverence for progressive rock, known for its ambition and depth. But here's the kicker, the most significant detail maybe.
Yeah.
The very first song Dunkleosteus ever played together was Paranoid Android by Radiohead.
Really? Not Floyd?
Nope. It stands out as the only non-Pink Floyd song on that initial set list. And that's not just a random cover, right? It's a subtle, but I think powerful signal of their diverse tastes, their willingness to embrace more contemporary, complex music right from the start. It kind of laid the groundwork for the sonic alchemy we see later.
That's fascinating. Okay, so they played these complex songs.
Yeah.
How did it actually go?
Well, Charlie Olimar himself, he's vividly recounted the chaotic nature of that first performance. He candidly admitted to a lot of technical issues and the almost unbelievably tight schedule. Get this. Only about 24 hours to rehearse.
24 hours for that set list.
Exactly. He described it as, and I quote, sort of a disaster, but we all had fun, and that's what matters most.
Huh. Okay, points for honesty.
Right. It's this raw, unrehearsed energy, the sheer spontaneity that seems to have been both the challenge and the charm of the night. You have to imagine the frenetic energy, hurried sound checks, constant improvisation.
Yeah, I can picture it.
But amidst that beautiful chaos, one moment truly captivated the audience. Stanley Bucket's vocal performance on The Great Gig in the Sky.
Ah, that's a famously difficult song.
Incredibly difficult. Sources close to the band describe it as so powerful, so emotionally resonant, that it brought audience members literally to tears.
Wow.
I mean, Great Gig requires immense vocal control, emotional vulnerability. For Stanley to pull that off with such limited prep, it speaks volumes about his talent and the raw potential of the group, even then.
So even with the chaos, there were these moments of brilliance.
Absolutely. This performance, despite the self-described disaster elements, it undeniably laid a crucial foundation. And it wasn't just a one-off family jam, it was foundational, formative.
And proof that something special was happening.
Exactly. And the fact that this initial unrehearsed show would later be painstakingly cleaned up and released as a live album 2 years later.
2 years?
Yeah. That really speaks volumes about its lasting impact and how it was perceived, even then, not just by the band, but by those who saw it as something truly special.
So it became legend almost immediately.
Pretty much. It transformed a chaotic birthday party gig into the legendary first chapter of Dunkleosteus, cemented its place in their origin story, and set a precedent for their, unpolished, authentic sound.
Okay, so after this whirlwind debut, chaotic yet triumphant and fun, the band, still nameless, they entered a period of relative silence.
That's right. This quiet spell stretched out for nearly a year, actually, until July of 2024.
A whole year is nothing?
Seemingly. But then, as we've seen as kind of a recurring theme in their history, the unifying force of family once again proved to be the pivotal catalyst. It drove their return to music.
Let me guess. Another family gathering.
You got it. The resurgence wasn't sparked by a record deal or some sudden ambition in a formal studio. The catalyst was another family reunion, this time nestled in the heart of South Dakota.
South Dakota, okay.
It was there, amidst familiar faces, relaxed atmosphere, that a truly crucial, game-changing decision was made.
Which was?
The band wouldn't just continue, they would pivot dramatically. Their new, ambitious direction would be to exclusively focus on writing their own original songs.
Ah, okay. Moving beyond the covers.
Exactly. Moving beyond the covers that defined their impromptu debut. This shift was monumental. It transformed them from a novelty act, however successful, into a serious, albeit still wonderfully informal, creative unit dedicated to carving out their unique artistic voice.
That's a big step.
It really speaks to a collective realization of their creative potential, beyond just interpreting other people's works.
And what a pivot it was. Part 2 of their journey just propels us into their astonishing studio debut, a phase that truly redefines rapid-fire creativity.
Understatement of the year, maybe.
Right. This was far from a drawn-out, meticulously planned recording process you usually hear about. Their debut album, aptly titled Dunkleosteus.
Oh.
They finally got a name.
Ah, yes.
It was astonishingly recorded in only a week's time.
A week for a full hour.
A week.
Hmm.
And the setting. Not some high-tech, soundproofed studio. Nope. As the accounts confirm, the basement of a random cabin in South Dakota.
You can't make this stuff up.
It's hard to imagine a more unconventional yet somehow perfectly fitting backdrop for such an ambitious undertaking.
And what's truly remarkable here isn't just the speed, it's the audacity. Recording a full-length debut in a week in an improvised setting like that.
It's wild.
Our sources highlight Charlie Olamar's absolutely pivotal role here. He arrived with, apparently, a lot of demos for them to turn into songs, essentially providing the raw material that the collective then quickly fleshed out.
So he came prepared.
Very prepared. There's even this intriguing speculation, kind of whispered among some close to the scene, that Olamar might actually be Henry Bjork operating under a pseudonym.
Whoa, really? Henry Bjork?
It's speculation, but it adds another layer of intrigue, right? Suggests a possible established creative force, or at least a highly prolific individual, driving much of the initial songwriting.
Interesting theory.
But regardless, the very nature of this rapid-fire recording, facilitated by Olamar's demos and that intimate, trusting family dynamic, it allowed them to manifest these creative impulses almost instantly, bypassing the often lengthy pre-production, studio booking, all that stuff.
Right. No time wasted.
Think about the usual logistics. A full studio, multiple takes, engineering decisions. In a cabin basement, the focus shifts entirely to raw performance, capturing the moment.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And the album itself, Dunkleosteus, it showcases this incredible, almost bewildering diversity of soundscapes, especially when you consider the ridiculous one-week recording window and the band's relatively early stage.
What kind of sounds are we talking?
Well, the opening track, Light Bulb, is described as a powerful metal track.
Okay, starting strong.
But here's where it gets really interesting. It uniquely starts and ends with Ukulele, performed by Jimmy Darkfield.
Ukulele in a metal song.
Ukulele. And this is particularly noteworthy because, as our sources diligently point out, Jimmy had just started ukulele lessons right before this first album.
Get out. From beginner lessons to bookending a metal track?
Apparently so. For him to integrate such a seemingly disparate instrument, providing this melodic, almost whimsical counterpoint to the raw, driving riffs, it speaks volumes about his immediate willingness to experiment and the band's open-minded approach to instrumentation in general.
That contrast, ukulele and metal, that's where the creativity shines. It's jarring, but intriguing, sets a unique tone right away.
It really highlights the accelerated musical journey happening within the band itself. You know, individual growth feeding the collective.
Definitely. And beyond Light Bulb, the album boldly explored a whole range of styles, almost like a sonic sampler of their collective tastes.
Like what else?
Well, Weird Circles Parts 1 and 2, for instance, are described as a lo-fi chill song.
Lo-fi. Okay, so like warm, maybe a bit distorted, intimate sounding.
Exactly. That kind of unpolished authenticity, prioritizing mood over pristine fidelity.
Oh.
Then you have Shadow's Theme, which is a deeply atmospheric composition by William Brick.
William, the lighting guy.
The very same. This track was reportedly inspired by Henry Bjork's work, Raven, and it features this compelling narrative about a reaper who is against killing.
Wow, that's a surprisingly philosophical theme for a debut.
Isn't it? And then, demonstrating their playful side, there's My Sandwich, which is described as a vibrant funk song and a delightful parody song composed by Joseph Ball.
Funk and parody, okay.
Yeah, injecting humor and groove into the mix. This incredibly diverse palette, metal, lo-fi, atmospheric funk, parody, all crafted in a single week in a cabin basement. It just vividly illustrates the varied interests and the deeply collaborative spirit of the group.
And the vocal performances on this debut were just as varied, right?
Absolutely. As varied as the instrumentation and genres. The 11th Hour, for instance, was this powerful collaboration. Olamar provided the music, Birch crafted the lyrics and melody.
What was that one about?
It explored the rather profound, melancholic theme of the regret of becoming immortal.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah, a surprisingly deep cut amidst the more playful tracks. But then we arrive at British is Bad, which, unbeknownst to the band at the time, was destined to be the biggest hit by far of the album.
Ah, the infamous British is Bad.
This track is absolutely essential to understanding their initial breakout success. It's unashamedly described as a diss track on the country of Britain.
A diss track on Britain.
Yep. For those maybe unfamiliar, a diss track is a song specifically made to disrespect or insult another person, group, or, in this unique case, an entire nation, often using biting lyrics, satirical humor.
Okay, that's bold.
What made this one truly stand out was the inclusion of legendary rapper Fist Crazy and a new dynamic band member, Jebby Debbie, adding multiple vocal layers to the insult.
So guest appearances already.
And the sources even give us some truly memorable lines like, British are and not even rag.
Okay.
And the historically resonant, no taxation without representation, that's why we formed a new nation.
Wow. They went there.
They did. And it raises this important question. How does a politically charged, humorous, undeniably infectious track like this become such a breakout hit for a new, largely unknown band?
Good question. Maybe just hit a nerve. Or was really catchy.
Probably both. It suggests an undeniable raw energy and a strong, perhaps unexpected resonance with a particular audience, maybe leveraging that early internet meme culture, you know. It's a testament to the power of a bold statement delivered with undeniable charisma.
And a hit it certainly was. The album Dunkleosteus saw its release just a few weeks after recording was done. Super fast turnaround again.
Insanely fast.
With the album cover itself made by Joseph Ball, the drummer.
Yeah.
Further solidifying that DIY in-house feel.
Right. Keeping it all in the family.
Its arrival, as documented, was met with huge success. And British is bad. Specifically, it just exploded, became a huge hit, gained significant traction, and was apparently highly regarded on the rap world.
Which is fascinating, considering the band's overall eclectic sound. But what's truly remarkable here is the almost immediate critical embrace.
Critics liked it, too.
Widely praised, yeah. Especially for its audacious combination of different styles, encompassing metal, lo-fi, funk, parody, and rap all in one album. This bold, genre-bending approach done in that crazy short time was clearly seen as a strength, not a weakness.
So they were seen as innovators, maybe.
It signaled a band unburdened by genre conventions, yeah. And the fan reaction, as detailed in our sources, was equally striking, almost hyperbolic.
Like how?
Well, one fan was quoted as declaring, with maybe a touch of internet exaggeration, that British is bad was better than the entirety of the new Kanye West album.
Whoa. Okay, that is a bold claim.
Right. But it vividly illustrates the immediate visceral impact this track had, cemented Dunkleosteus as this unexpected force to be reckoned with.
And beyond the main album's huge reception, Dunkleosteus also concurrently released a demo EP.
That's right. This compilation consisted of the original demos written by Charlie Alomar, offering listeners this rare, intimate glimpse into the raw, foundational material, the initial creative ideas that eventually formed the basis of their polished debut.
So you could hear the evolution.
Exactly. It's like getting a peek behind the curtain, witnessing the unfiltered embryonic stages of their rapid creative process.
It's pretty cool for fans.
And if you connect this to the broader context of artistic creation, releasing the demos alongside the finalized album, it provides invaluable insight into their songwriting evolution, their decision-making. It's a bold move, speaks to their transparency as artists.
Yeah, not hiding the messy bits.
Right. Inviting listeners not just to consume the final product, but to participate in understanding the creative journey from its most basic form. It's something you often see established artists do later, looking back. For a debut band, it's a confident statement about their process.
Okay, so after this absolutely whirlwind debut, unexpected soaring success, you'd think, okay, now they tour, capitalize on the momentum, or dive right back into another fast recording session.
He's logical.
But no. Part 3 of their journey reveals this unexpected interlude, a period marked by geographic separation, individual solo projects, and a noticeable stretch of quietness from the collective.
Ah, the distance problem.
Exactly. Our sources reveal that immediately following their debut, the band members faced a big practical challenge. They lived separately across the country.
Oh, wow. That makes things difficult.
Yeah. This vast distance made collaboration practically impossible in the traditional sense, posing a major threat to their newfound momentum.
In this scenario, it's a notorious pitfall for countless bands, especially early on.
Yeah.
Geographic distance can easily just stifle creative synergy, erode momentum, even lead to breakups.
So how did Dunkleosteus handle it?
Well, what's fascinating about them is how they navigated this seemingly huge obstacle. Instead of just giving in to the limitations, our sources confirm that working on the band was not over, it simply shifted gears.
How so?
This period of enforced separation, it didn't halt their creative output. Instead, it funneled it into individual artistic explorations. We saw 3 key members release solo material.
Oh, okay, so they kept creating, just separately.
Precisely, which demonstrates this profound, deep-seated commitment to their craft and to the underlying spirit of the band, even when direct collective work was physically difficult.
That's pretty dedicated.
It allowed them to hone individual skills, experiment with personal aesthetics, and ultimately feed new perspectives and matured talents back into the collective when they eventually reconvened. It's really a testament to their resilience and their adaptive creative model.
Okay, so tell us about these solo projects.
Right. Each of these solo releases offered a unique, intimate glimpse into their individual musical interests and showcased their continued growth as artists, hinting at the diverse influences that come together in Dunkleosteus.
Who released what?
Charlie Alomar, for instance, delivered Scribble Black, a track vibrantly described as a 60s rock kind of song.
Okay, fitting his influences.
Exactly. A direct reflection of his stated inspirations, the Beatles, the Kinks. You can almost hear those echoes of classic British invasion guitar riffs and melodies woven throughout, a direct link to his personal musical roots.
Yeah, and Joseph Ball, the drummer.
He released Swirly Lime, a track that pushed the boundaries of the band's collective sound, described as the most electronic the band had gotten.
Electronic. Interesting.
Yeah, it boldly showcased his broader musical interests, extending significantly beyond the 90s alternative rock like Nirvana and Pearl Jam that he was mostly known for, signaled his willingness to explore new sonic territories, maybe synthesize textures, more intricate rhythmic programming.
Cool. And Jimmy Darkfield, the ukulele guy.
Ah, yes, the ukulele guy who ended up on a metal track. Remember, he started with just ukulele lessons.
Right.
Now, he reemerges with his own Above the Clouds EP. This collection featured 5 chill songs, creating this distinctly relaxed ambient soundscape.
So a different vibe entirely.
Totally. And notably, it also included a remix of Shadow's theme, William Brick's composition from the debut.
Oh, interesting. Remixing their own stuff.
Yeah. Indicating his continued artistic growth and his ability to reinterpret existing band material through his evolving musical lens, it further highlighted his journey from, nascent ukulele player to a developing multi-instrumentalist capable of contributing significantly.
That's amazing progress. So, despite the distance, these solo ventures kept the creative fires burning.
They did. They acted like these distinct tributaries, each enriching and diversifying the flow of the main river that is Dunkleosteus. Each member was independently honing their craft, expanding their sonic palette, developing their individual artistic voice.
But eventually, after these solo releases, things went quiet again.
Yeah. The collective fell into an understandable yet somewhat anticipatory period of quietness. This silence, though, it only served to build immense anticipation for what would inevitably come next.
And what came next, as we now know from the sources, was truly monumental.
And this brings us powerfully into Part 4, the Grand Return. This chapter represents arguably the most audacious and creatively explosive period in Dunkleosteus' history so far.
It absolutely does. The band staged a truly powerful return in the summer of 25.
Summer 25, okay.
And in a move that's now become kind of emblematic of their whole philosophy, this reunion occurred at yet another family reunion.
Of course it did. Where this time?
This time located in the stark, inspiring beauty of the Utah desert.
The Utah desert. Wow, quite a setting.
Yeah, far removed from traditional studios or city distractions, again underscores their completely unconventional, deeply personal approach. And what they unveiled there was not just ambitious, but almost unbelievably so. Their most ambitious project yet.
What was it?
Instead of just one album, they planned and actually executed the release of 3 entire full-length studio albums.
3 albums.
3, in the incredibly compressed span of a week.
A week? For 3 albums?
I know. And each album, as planned, was themed differently. This wasn't just a quantitative leap. It signified this massive, almost unfathomable acceleration and diversification of their creative output.
Okay, my mind is slightly blown. 3 albums, 1 week, different themes. The audacity. It raises crucial questions about their creative method.
Like, how is that even possible?
Exactly. How did this extreme time pressure impact their art? Did it lead to just raw, unfiltered creativity, or maybe a different kind of disciplined, focused output?
What do the sources suggest?
It seems like a combination of things. Pre-prepared material, definitely. An incredibly efficient and trusting collaborative synergy, that family thing again.
Right.
And just complete immersion in the creative bubble of the Utah desert. This environment allowed them to minimize distractions, maximize focused effort, capitalize on that rapid flow of ideas among close-knit family members.
So they basically locked themselves away and just created nonstop.
Pretty much. It certainly allowed them to produce an immense volume of work, showcasing their rapid-fire capabilities and pushing the boundaries of traditional album production cycles. It really highlights how they function as a creative unit, leveraging those unique bonds to achieve what would be impossible for many other bands.
Okay, let's dive into these 3 phenomenal albums from the Utah sessions, starting with what many consider their masterpiece, Ambrosia.
Ambrosia. Okay.
This was the first album to emerge from those intense desert sessions and is widely believed to be the best by critics and fans alike.
The serious one.
Yeah, the band themselves have described it as the most serious album of the three, and critically, much more cohesive and thematic than their debut. Our sources paint a picture of a fully instrumental record.
Ah, no vocals this time.
Fully instrumental. A much more chill album with a more simplistic approach. This marks a significant sonic and artistic shift from their genre-bending, vocally-driven debut. Shows a real maturation in their sound.
That deliberate shift towards instrumental, cohesive, more simplistic for their most serious album is really compelling. It suggests a refinement, maybe? A deeper exploration of pure musicality without relying on lyrics, letting the instruments tell the story?
Exactly. And the sources highlight several key tracks that exemplify this evolution. The opener, Mirror, for example. Its central riff was apparently written on the couch in a hotel room spontaneously.
Spontaneously.
Charlie Alomar vividly recalls the urgency, telling Joseph to record it before I forgot it.
Huh. That perfectly captures their immediate, on-the-spot process. Ideas captured as they spark. The essence of their rapid-fire approach.
It's a raw, unadulterated glimpse into their creative spontaneity. And the remarkable growth of the individual members is absolutely evident throughout Ambrosia.
How so?
Firecracker features a driving riff written on guitar by Jimmy Darkfield.
Jimmy again. The ukulele to metal to chill EP guy.
That's him. Remember, just started ukulele lesson before the first album. For him to be composing a whole song on guitar and a compelling riff at that demonstrates phenomenal, incredibly rapid musical growth. From novice to contributing songwriter in, a year or two.
That's really impressive development.
Then there's All of the Time, a track that stands out as a clear, affectionate homage to the classic rock group, The Kinks.
Ah, back to Charlie's roots.
Exactly. Charlie Alomar himself described the riff as a mix between You Really Got Me and All Day and All of the Night, directly connecting it to his stated inspirations. It's not just a nod, it's an intelligent incorporation of those foundational 60s rock elements into their unique sound.
Nice. What else stands out on Ambrosia?
Another truly fascinating track, pushing their experimental boundaries, is Hello, Little Friend of Mine. This piece is described as a musique concrète of sorts.
Musique concrète. Explain that a bit.
Right, so it's an avant-garde form of music where you use pre-recorded sounds, often non-musical ones. In this case, they used old vocal recordings of themselves from when they were very young.
Wow, like home recordings.
Exactly. And they manipulated them, stretching, reversing, layering, to create a new, often abstract soundscape. It's not just nostalgic. It's a deliberate sonic manipulation to achieve this distinct, eerie atmosphere, transforming personal history into abstract art.
That sounds incredibly creative and kind of haunting.
Definitely. And then, for those who appreciate Joseph Ball's pronounced 90s influences, there's Done. Charlie Alomar notes it's similar to the song Dumb by Nirvana.
Ah, the Nirvana connection.
Yeah, with its very name, Done, reflecting that sonic and thematic kinship with Dumb. Again, showcases how their distinct individual tastes converge, creating this collective output that is both eclectic and deeply personal.
And you mentioned a cover earlier.
Yes. In a wonderful, almost poetic full-circle moment, Ambrosia also features a cover of Radiohead's Weird Fishes Are Peggy.
Weird Fishes, great track.
And incredibly significant because, as we highlighted earlier, the first song the band ever played was Paranoid Android by Radiohead, bringing their journey right back to where it started, in a way.
Wow, that's a nice touch. A testament to their continued reverence for those early inspirations.
Mm-hmm. The album then culminates with the poignant title track, Ambrosia itself, described as a sad song that is still hopeful for the future, but marks the end of an era for the band.
End of an era.
Yeah, a reflective, almost melancholic closer that signals a transition, a closing of one chapter, anticipation of another.
And what's particularly noteworthy about Ambrosia as a whole project is the significantly increased band contribution. Our sources emphatically emphasize that this album was created rather than it being primarily spearheaded by Alomar as it was in the last.
So, more collaborative this time.
Definitely. Signifies a profound maturation in their collaborative process, moving towards a more equitable, integrated creative dynamic among all the family members, suggests growing confidence, a shared vision where each voice contributed more meaningfully to the overall sound, a collective evolution.
Okay, so that's Ambrosia, the serious instrumental one. What about album number 2 from Utah?
Right. Moving on to the second album from those incredibly productive Utah sessions, we encounter Nincompoop.
Nincompoop, huh? Okay, it sounds different already.
It is, painted as a stark yet delightful contrast to the seriousness of Ambrosia. It's described as a less serious and more silly album, and also notably the shortest album of the Utah sessions.
Shorter and sillier. Got it.
Its content primarily consists of rap songs and sequels to previous songs, showcasing their playful side and that sense of continuity.
Sequels. Like a sequel to British is Bad.
You guessed it. This album absolutely serves as a delightful, humorous counterpoint to Ambrosia, demonstrates their ability to effortlessly pivot tones, and its standout track, a clear testament to their playful continuity, is indeed French is Bad.
French is Bad.
Oh my goodness.
Presented as the long-awaited sequel to the song British is Bad, but this time, true to form, it's targeted at the French.
They're equal opportunity offenders then.
Seems like it. And what's particularly noteworthy here is that it's described as more ambitious than British due to having 3 verses from 3 different people.
Who's on it?
Specifically Fizz Crazy, who was on the original.
Right.
Joseph Ball, the drummer, gets a verse.
Okay.
And Jebby W returns as well.
Nice. So it not only brings back key collaborators, but expands the vocal contributions and perspectives, shows an evolving process even within their comedy. It's a masterclass in follow-up satire, really, building on a successful formula but making it bigger.
It's incredible how they managed to consistently maintain that distinctive satirical humor while simultaneously elevating their production and collaborative complexity. Is Nincompoop just the sequel, though?
Not entirely. It also throws in other wonderfully unique and absurd elements like, get this, a rap about foosball.
Foosball.
Seriously. An unexpected yet probably brilliant topic for a track. And continuing the self-referential theme, a slowed and reverb version of their first song, Lightbulb.
Slowed and reverb, like those YouTube trends.
Exactly like that. It demonstrates their willingness not only to experiment with new material, but also to playfully reinterpret and manipulate their own past work. It's almost like they're poking fun at their own rapid history, showing they don't take themselves too seriously.
That's pretty meta.
Indeed. These stylistic choices, especially the self-referential slowing and reverberating, signal this profound artistic confidence, a willingness to deconstruct their own catalog. It solidifies the idea that while they can be serious and cohesive, they also deeply value pure fun, absurdity, and artistic liberation.
It's an album that tells us, yeah, we can be profound, but we can also just make you laugh.
Perfectly put.
And that playful, unburdened spirit leads us perfectly into the 3rd album from the Utah sessions, a project that has been, well, get this, lovingly referred to as the worst album of all time, according to the band themselves.
Wait, the band calls it the worst album of all time?
Lovingly, apparently. Its proper official title, however, is The Slop Album.
The Slop Album. Okay. This, despite its self-deprecating nickname, sounds like a fascinating and maybe even profound artistic statement in itself.
How so, if they think it's bad?
Well, its unique creation process was built on this bold, almost experimental premise. Give the band an hour and 22 minutes and see what they can come up with.
An hour and 22 minutes to make a whole album.
Exactly. This imposed time constraint, this forced spontaneity, resulted in a sound described as goofy, disjointed, and absurd, replete with lots of random noises and spoken word moments.
Wow. So basically just pure improvisation.
Seems like it. This deliberately unrefined, almost stream of consciousness approach contrasts sharply with the cohesive ambition of Ambrosia, or even the structured silliness of Nincompoop. It's an exercise in pure, unadulterated creative release.
The band's own transparent perspective on the Slop album is incredibly telling, though. It speaks volumes about their creative philosophy.
What do you say about it?
They readily agree that it isn't the best album, and that it was made purely for fun and nothing more.
See, that underlines their whole philosophy. Not every creation has to be a polished masterpiece destined for acclaim or success. Sometimes the value lies purely in the joy of making something. The process, the collaboration, the simple act of expression.
So messing around and recording it.
Pretty much. And it also includes, get this, yet another slowed plus reverb version of British is Bad.
Again. Okay, that's definitely running gag now.
Right. A recurring motif that ties their incredibly diverse discography together. Even the intentionally slop album.
Exactly. This album, despite its almost provocatively humble title, serves as this powerful demonstration of creative liberation. It highlights the often undervalued importance of artistic play.
The freedom to create without that immense pressure of perfection or commercial viability.
Right. In a world often obsessed with polished final products, the Slop album is a bold counter-narrative, a reminder that not all art needs to be meticulously refined. Sometimes the raw, unfiltered enjoyment of the process, the spontaneous collaboration, the sheer fun of creating, that's the true masterpiece.
It pushes against the traditional music industry's focus on endless production cycles. Marketing suggests that authentic, joyful creation has its own intrinsic value.
So as we bring this deep dive into Dunkleosteus to a close, it's clear we've traced a truly remarkable, almost unbelievable journey.
It really has been something.
From that utterly spontaneous family jam at a birthday party, playing Pink Floyd and Radiohead, to becoming a band capable of conceptualizing and churning out 3 distinct, full-length albums in a single week. That's an astonishing, unprecedented trajectory.
Mind-boggling, really.
Their consistent themes, which we've meticulously explored throughout this deep dive, they're deeply intertwined, aren't they?
Absolutely. That unparalleled power of familial collaboration.
Right. A dizzying, rapid-fire creativity that just defies industry norms.
A fearless approach to genre-bending experimentation.
And perhaps most importantly, a clear, undeniable enjoyment of the entire creative process itself, regardless of the outcome, even when they call it the slop album.
Exactly. And this inherent enjoyment, it's profoundly rooted in the diverse musical influences each member brings to the table, which we've seen is a core strength of this band.
Let's recap those influences quickly.
You've got Jacob Birch with his background in orchestral music and intricate video game soundtracks, adding that layer of sophisticated composition.
Right.
Joseph Ball, drawing heavily from 90s rock giants like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, injecting that raw, powerful, often angsty energy. And then there's Charlie Alomar, whose profound love for 60s rock icons, the Beatles, the Kinks, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, is consistently evident.
And what's truly remarkable is how these varied tastes don't just coexist, they actively converge and intertwine in their output, create these unique sonic landscapes.
We've heard it directly in tracks like all of the time, that direct homage to the Kinks.
Yeah.
And Done, which unmistakably nods to Nirvana. It's a powerful testament to how their individual identities, when fused in that high-trust, family-driven environment, profoundly enrich the collective sound.
So after exploring such a unique and accelerated journey, what does this all mean for you, the listener? Why should you care about this band's unconventional journey beyond just the sheer fascination of it all?
That's the key question, isn't it?
I think in an age of information overload, where content is often so meticulously polished, heavily marketed, conforms to these rigid, traditional music industry models, Dunkleosteus offers something profoundly compelling.
What is that for you?
Well, perhaps it's their raw, often unpolished, unfiltered creativity that stands out, a refreshing rejection of overproduction in favor of just authentic expression.
Like the basement recordings.
Exactly. Or maybe it's the sheer audacity of their rapid output, challenging the very notion that artistic quality requires endless time and boundless budgets. They force us to question traditional album cycles, release strategies.
That's a fair point.
Or perhaps for many, it's simply the unadulterated focus on fun. That joyous, almost childlike spirit that permeates even their most serious work, proving that music making can be pure play.
Even the slop has value.
Right. Ultimately, for me, it's the undeniable, almost alchemical power of family bonds driving this incredible, evolving musical project that offers a unique model for creative collaboration in any field.
And that raises an even more provocative question for us all to consider, doesn't it? Given their documented history of intense, rapid creative bursts, followed by these quieter periods of individual exploration, what kind of ambitious, unconventional project might Dunkleosteus embark on next?
Good question. What do you think?
Will they continue to defy the gravitational pull of traditional musical boundaries? How might their unique family-driven process continue to challenge the norms of artistic creation? Maybe venture into live performances that somehow capture that spontaneous live on the loft energy.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Or perhaps even a long-form concept album that marries all their diverse influences into some grand narrative. Their very existence challenges us to rethink how art is made, consumed, and valued in the modern era.
It certainly leaves us with a lot to ponder, a true testament to the lasting impression this band leaves. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating, unpredictable, and truly inspiring world of Dunkleosteus.
It's been a wild ride tracing their story.
They are, without a doubt, a band that proves creativity can flourish in the most unexpected ways and at an astonishing, often mind-boggling pace.
Their unique model offers a compelling alternative in an industry often bogged down by convention and commercial pressure. It powerfully shows that pure passion, deep connection, and a willingness to embrace imperfection can truly propel artistic output to incredible heights. Keep an eye, or rather an ear, out for what they dare to do next.
Until next time, keep digging deeper.